also really inspired and hopeful. And it's really that motivates me in the work that I do. My name is Joe Carr. I'm a local youth empowerment educator. I'm the founders of the Men Rally for Change, an annual march and rally calling on men to end gender violence. Also helped found a new local collective called Radical Action for Gender Equality, or RAGE, working on women's reproductive rights and other issues of feminism. And I'm a trainer and teach a local class on nonviolent communication. So talk to me afterwards if you're interested in getting involved with any of those things. When I started talking to women in my life and asking them about sexual violence, I found that pretty much every woman that I've ever known has some kind of experience of sexual violence. And when I started looking at my sexual history, really up until the age of about 25, pretty much every sexual interaction I had involved coercion or manipulation in some way, whether it was on my part or their part or both of our parts. And this wasn't because, we're social deviants who enjoy hurting people or enjoy being hurt, but because we were raised and taught in a system that taught us that this was normal, that taught us that we could only get love and affection and attention by getting sexual attention, and taught men to pursue that sexual attention by any means necessary, and taught us that relationships were about control and manipulation and competition. And this system is called patriarchy, and I hate it. It's one of many systems of oppression that exist within us and outside of us, that are perpetuated by us, but perpetuated onto us, but are by nature temporary and unnatural. And we will bring them down. And we are continuing to join together to smash these systems, and that inspired this poem called Smash Patriarchy. Hand me a hammer, and I will smash patriarchy. Hand me a banner, and I will march against white supremacist capitalist hierarchy. Hand me a scanner, and we will create new images of daughters and sons. Hand me my planner, and we will schedule the feminist revolution. This is for the women, swimming against the current. This is for the men who give respect and thereby earn it. This is for everyone in between and the spaces unseen, creating their own dreams. This is for Rihanna, whose face showed the world what we've created. And for Chris and all those like him who let their socialization override his heart. For every man who jams his pain into the champagne bottle, shaking and waiting for it to blow full throttle. Every unshed tear, every unshared fear, every closed off ear goes into the balloon. And it grows bigger and bigger and bigger until someone hits a trigger and it pops, exploding all over his brothers and sisters. This is for my mother, who thinks she's stupid because she doesn't understand computers, but knows every birthday in our entire extended family and can bake bran muffins from memory. This is for my father, who thought he wasn't a man if my mom had a career, who thought he had to tear her down to build himself up, only to find them both torn down and worn out. But this is also for my mother, who held me and told me it was okay to cry. And for my father, who always tells me he loves me and is never afraid to hug me. And this is for my sister, who always gets her way and won't hesitate to send guys packing when they go astray. And for my little cousin, who told that boy, it's not okay. When I say don't touch me, boy, you best obey. Yes, I have a hammer. I have a hammer for every boss that makes you flirt or worse to get a job. For every car salesman or mechanic that jacks the price and tries to rob. For every magazine that makes you hate yourself. For the 120% of the work you do while only getting 75% of the wealth. Yeah. For every mother tortured in the birthing ward and then left to raise kids on her own, playing every note of the chord. For every frat boy who builds his self-esteem with sexual conquests, and for every activist guy who thinks a social movement is some kind of macho contest. Yes, I have a hammer because I had to question whether or not it was appropriate for me to read a poem on this day. As if what affects over half the planet doesn't leave me with something to say. As if I don't have a mother and a sister, female friends and lovers. Yes, I have a right and obligation to stand up and to speak out. Not because of my gender, but because I'm a human, and I have love that must leak out. See, systems of oppression practice conquer through division, so what good's it do to tell a man he can't practice feminism? So hand me a hammer, and I will smash this in myself. Yes, I have a hammer for every woman that I have interrupted or talked over. For every woman that I've hit on or manipulated into my bed, for every sex story I told to fit in with the guys, and for every boy I made fun of thinking my stature would rise. Yes, hand me a hammer and I will smash this in myself, raise up that banner, and we will march together and break open all these cells. Because I will never know what it's like to be afraid to walk at night, or to have to change what I'm wearing lest I be blamed for my plight, to be afraid to say no lest I might be shoved, or be able to eat what I want and not worry I won't be loved. Yes, these are a few male privileges that are rights we all should have. And I will fight for my whole life for those who've suffered on my behalf. So raise your hammer, people. Raise it up. Come on, raise up that hammer. And we will smash patriarchy. Raise that banner and we will march against white supremacist, capitalist hierarchy. Plug in that scanner and we'll create new images of daughters and sons. Hand me my planner and we will schedule the feminist revolution. Yeah.